Here's your parabola project that we started yesterday. Remember, you need to go and pick one parabola to use for the entire project from this page, the very back page. So you are going to use one for the entire project. I would make sure that you write that parabola equation on the first page, and then if you're not done with your graph, you should also have it written on this page right here. Okay? So when you were doing your computer work yesterday, all of the directions are right in here. So instead of doing this equation, you do your equation. Some of the steps that you can skip on this would be step 4, unless you wanted to add tracing to your graph, to add a little extra. And then also you could skip number 7, but please make sure you go to File, Print, Preview, Fit to Page. So once you have your sketch done, you go to File, Print, Preview, so File, Print, Preview, and then you have to hit this button right here that says Fit to Page. And as long as your table, your parabola, and your original equation are on there, you should be good. That would be the bare minimum. Adding anything extra would be like a line of symmetry, labeling where your roots are, and things like that. So here's an example of what the bare minimum would be, and actually she did go a step further because her vertex is on here. So here's her parabola, here's her table, and I think she's starting to add some of her extras. Here's another screenshot of somebody who's trying to add some extra stuff. Here's their line of symmetry. Here's another example of going above and beyond. So if you'd like to try to start doing some of those things, you can. Otherwise, you can use markers after you have printed them. Again, you can either print to the library or save it to the folder. And the folder that you want to save to is, first you want to go to My Computer, and then it should be under Student Shared. And then you scroll down and go to Gustafson Algebra, and then go to your period 3, period 6, or period 7. And if you don't have the capability to print, I will print out yours on Friday. Otherwise, you could go up to the library during an off period and print them from another computer. It's just because your laptop doesn't have a printer set to it that you can't print. So for those of you that are not done with the computer portion, here are some of the things you want to remember. Define your coordinate system, and then you need to make your graph. So then you want to go to Graph, Plot, New Function. And again, these directions are on the handout. So whatever your parabola is, you want to have it graphed, and make sure the line is the only thing that's highlighted. And you go to Construct, Plot a point on the function, and then make sure that your dots can move on your parabola. And then with that, you want to measure your coordinate. And then if your coordinate is highlighted, then you can go ahead and start your table. And you need 5 points on your table to be complete. And I would make sure that your vertex is on there. And then anything extra you want to do, you can explore and work through some of those things on here. Again, here's the typing button if you want to type. You just double click and you can type. Here's a pen if you want to draw. Here's a line if you want to draw some segments. Here's a line, it'll go on and on forever. Here's a circle. Here's a dot if you want to add some other dots that you have in your table. And you could have all of your points from your table on there. And those are just a few of those extras. So remember, you and your neighbor need to have your own print-offs. You guys are not doing that together. The only reason you're in partners is so that you can share the computer. These projects will be due on Monday. So you want to make sure you get your computer portion done. So the next thing that you need to worry about is the paper part of it. So you have your electronic printout completed, then you can go and start this part of the project. Finding your vertex. Make sure you show your work in your space. We had a formula for the vertex. What is the line of symmetry? Describe how the line of symmetry, how to find it. So you write it down, and then what do? Then don't copy your table from your computer part. You do your table like we learned to do. Put your vertex in the middle and do 2 points below and 2 points above, and then have a paper graph drawn. Talk about what your roots are. A root is a zero or a solution. Make sure you're using sentences for your shape. Talk about wide or narrow, max and min. Make sure you sound like a mathematician. And then again down here, talk about your max and min. And then again, solutions, roots, or zeros. You're not going to be able to do it algebraically because none of the formulas are missing a b value. Some of you might be able to factor. If not, just write not factorable. But everybody should be able to complete the square. The directions for completing the square are on the board in blue. And then quadratic equation is all over the room. Make sure you show your work fully and completely if you want to earn full points. Do not just write down the answers. Here's the computer portion, and then here's the rubric. So if you want to get an A, you need to have all 9 sections of the worksheet complete using complete sentences. Descriptive explanations are included where needed, and diagrams are correct and labeled. So if you do bad in a section, but you added some flair to it, that might bump you up a letter grade. So that's where you want to do those extras in case you score poorly in one of those sections. So the worksheet part is worth 50 points, and you working on the computers is worth 10 points. So you earned points yesterday, and then the sub today will write down any notes if there are problems with you working in your partners or whatnot. So that's 10 points to make sure you're working on the computer and following the guidelines on the computer portion. So here's your rubric, total of 60 points. So you guys were all here yesterday. Maybe you want to ask questions to your classmates about the project, and then if you have any other questions, please save them for me for tomorrow. You need to get work done today. It is not okay to come to class and say, I didn't know how to do it. All of these steps and processes are found in your textbook. If somebody else has their textbook here, borrow it from them. You don't need to go to your locker to get a textbook. So please make sure you complete this. Show me what you know about parabolas. Have a good day. Be good.